and we're recording this webinar. So it's really good to see all of you guys. And I love that you guys are all over the world because homeopathy is a global medicine. It's incredible. My name is Dr. Anna Jackson. I'm a naturopathic doctor and a homeopath, but I'm on an extended maternity leave because I have two little babies. I have a 10-month-old and a 3-year-old, and they keep me so busy. So I have not been practicing for the last year. And I don't know when I'm going to get into practicing. But I do love homeopathy so much. Both my kids were born at home with a homeopath. That's how they were born. And so here today, I'm going to teach you all about the advanced search in RadarOpus because it is such an incredible tool that I don't think is utilized enough. And when I was in practice, all I did was use the advanced search. It made repertorizing so much easier. So let me share my screen, and I am going to go ahead and share with you what advanced search is. And I just want to leave the chat open. So if you guys have questions as I'm going through, I'll try to get to your questions. If I see them pop open in the chat. If I don't, I'll try to get them at the end when I ask for questions. Okay. I'm going to go kind of slow because I want you guys to follow along. If you have your radar program open, that would be awesome because then you can go ahead and kind of practice with me. Okay. So as you all know from the earlier session, you have all of your repertories. Advanced search. So you have a simple search right here, but if you click the down arrow and go to advanced search, this will bring you to an incredible window. This allows you to search any type of word, any remedies. It lets you compare remedies and contrast remedies. It lets you look up a particular word in a particular chapter. It lets you narrow down if you just want to look at a kingdom of remedies, like if you practice that way, like you just want to study snake remedies, or you just want to study a certain, like the Magnolidae family, the plant family. So this allows you to do all of those things very easily. So let's go through these one by one. As an example, I just put in kind of a fake case for you of somebody with a fever so that we can kind of go through and I can show you how to use the advanced search as if you have an acute patient that has a fever. And this patient has red discoloration all over their face. They have a bad taste in their mouth. They have delusions. They have thirstlessness during their fever. They don't want to drink anything. They have chill alternating with heat, and they have a lot of weakness. So they're not doing so hot. Did you like my pun? So if you have somebody like this and you're thinking, gosh, what am I going to give them? Because as you know, when you repertorize, there are so many remedies that are coming up. I have 190 remedies, but I need to pick one. And so if I go to the advanced search, let's say the patient told me, gosh, I feels like I have noises in my ear. And you're looking, and you can't figure out where to repertorize that from. I don't know. Is it in ear? Is it in head? You know, you're kind of freaking out yourself. So what you can do, you can search a couple words. So you can put ear noises in during fever. So maybe I'll just put the word ear. Maybe I will just look for fever. Okay. So I'm going to do this again. When I put an ear, I click enter twice. 1, 2. Now it's blue. Now it will search. I'm going to put in the word fever. I'm going to click it once and twice. Enter. So now it's blue. Now it will search it. Okay. If you click on these little icons here, I wouldn't click on them. It's just showing you what it's searching for, other words that it could be under. You don't really need to, I never change those things. If you click on search words in English, you can specify, do you want to search one word? Do you want to search within 2 words of each other, within 4 words, within X words? You can specify, like I want these within 10 words of each other. Do you want them together? So what I'll do is I'll say in the same sentence, okay? And then I'll go up here and I'll search. What do you want to search in? Do you want to search in repertories or references? What I usually do is just click all. So I'll just click all. So right now I'm searching the word ear and the word fever together in the same sentence in all of my repertories and all of my references. What comes up is all of my hit results on the left. So now I can choose what repertory do I want to look at. So I'll look at Adonis. I have 22 rubrics where this came up. Now I can look and see, okay, my patient has noises in the ear during fever. Ear noises in during fever. Look at it. That's exactly what they said. So I can either click, 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 like I love all of these. I want all of these in my rubric and I can drag all of them. Or you can just drag one. And you know you got it because you can see it here and you'll just drag it up to your clipboard. So that is a way, if you're having trouble finding a rubric, you can search 1 word or 2 words or 3 words. I would not do more than 3 though. And if you're not, there is over here on the right-hand side, you could put the word ear and look in the ear chapter specifically because this was under the ear chapter. But I find that there are so many rubrics under the head chapter or the generals chapter or other chapters that you don't think are related to what you're looking for that you would miss if you just specified in the ear chapter only. So I like putting words over here in the word column. Okay. So this is a way that you can look for a specific word. Let's say that you just want to generally look for the word fever. Okay. So we're going to put in the word fever. And again, we're going to hit enter twice so that now it's blue. And then let's look in all documents. So this is really nice if you wanted to go down and look at some references. Okay, so it's loading. You can see my little cursor has that little blue loading sign. So we'll just give it a second because there's a lot of remedies, references, and repertories that have the word fever in it. There we go. Okay. Gosh, I have 87,000 hits. That's a lot. So I can pick my favorite repertory. Like, I love Boger. I can go over here. But really, maybe what I want to do instead of repertories is I want to go down to my materia medica. So I really like Morrison. I like his, where is he? Desktop guide. Okay, I like this. So I just clicked on Morrison's desktop guide and it brought me to all of the sentences in that book with the word fever. So if I look at this, I can see that here, sudden marked heat and fever alternates with chills, heat, and blushing to face, pupils constricted. He's talking here about aconitum, aconite. I can either click with my mouse or I can click the down arrow. And it's telling me in what chapter aconite is in. And so here I can just go ahead and read what Morrison says all about fevers, and I can see if any stick out to me. What's kind of cool about the advanced search is that if you have something like this, wow, marked aggravation from motion, better from pressure. Wow, that is exactly what my patient told me. You can actually drag this. I know it's not a rubric, but you can actually drag this into your clipboard. So you can drag in sentences from references into your clipboard, which is kind of cool because it will show you it right here. So anyways, I don't do that a lot, but it's just cool that you can do that. And so you can go ahead and read everything, like I said, Morrison talks about in this book with the word fever. You can go to your favorite therapeutic. Let's see here. I like herring. Okay. You can read what herring says about the word fever. And if you don't see a remedy, it's because he's just describing. So this is in the first part of the fever. He's talking about what the fever is. Or you can go to Jones, cancer and fever. I mean, you can just search whatever you want, the word fever, in whatever book you want. I really like Norland. Norland is great. So look at, you can see all of the words for fever. So this is nice because it's kind of like you have a book, right? Because this is all electronic. And you would go to the fever chapter and see everything written about fever. But it's hard to do that, but you can do that with the advanced search. So you can type in the word fever, you can look up rubrics. Now, let's say that you went back to your repertory here and you're thinking, goodness, okay, I have 190 remedies. And of course, when you have an acute case, you're probably looking at the top 10 or 20 remedies, right? So you're looking arsenicum, nux vomica, belladonna, you know, they have some delirium with their fever. Maybe I can look up that remedy. Or that word, bryonia, calcarea, lachesis. So if you're thinking, what remedy has delirium with fever? So let's type in the word delirium. Again, I'm going to click enter until it's blue. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to search in my documents. And it's going to take it a little bit. Excuse me. Okay. And then I'm going to go to my repertory, jaundice. And then I can see all of the remedies, all of the words delirium. But as you can see, I did not do that good of a search because I'm coming up with all of the delirious remedies, delirious, not remedies, but I'm not specifying it to fever. So when you do that, that's okay. Just put it in there, make sure they're in the same sentence, and search again. Okay. So let's see what we have here. Okay, mind delirium during fever. Awesome. I love that rubric. Let's bring that in. And then I can even see if there's any other else. Okay, that fits my patient. Fever, intense heat with delirium. Yep, that fit them. So this is nice because you don't miss any rubrics. And it's really nice because you start to learn rubrics. Even if you're a very practiced homeopath, there's thousands of rubrics. It's hard to find them all. This is the way that you can find them all. Okay. So do you guys have any questions about searching the words here? because I want to jump on and go to remedies here. So I'll see if you guys have any questions. Um, if you have a really weird, a super weird word that your patient's using, and you're like, that's really unusual, you can search for the word here and look in your references and see if any cases came up with that word that other homeopaths have had, or provings of that word, which is really cool to see. Okay, no questions. So I'm going to go on to the remedies. So now let's say we're in between arsenica and belladonna and bryonia, and you're not knowing which one you're going to do. I'm going to write those down: arsenica, belladonna, and bryonia. We'll just throw next vomica for fun. Okay. Because as you can see, they're really close. I mean, and they're very interchangeable. I mean, belladonna has the delusions, whereas the other ones don't have that. Bryonia has a bad taste in the mouth. I mean, there's kind of a lot of overlap between the two, between those four remedies. So I can go back to my advanced search. Okay, great. There's a question. If a patient has fever with delirium and some rashes. Okay, so you have to play around with this, Dr. Nigam. So I would put in, like, if you put delirium, and let's say a rash, and let's say during fever, let's just see if anything comes up. And if it doesn't, then you're going to have to play around with those words to see. Yeah, so I mean, I really didn't get that much. As you can see here, look at what came up. So stramonium came up, but these are unrelated. Delirium with fever. I mean, it's like all in the same paragraph, but it's not related altogether. So that's not a good search. What I would say, because usually rash is like an eruption of the skin. It can be skin eruption would probably be the rubric. So I would probably just look for delirium and fever. I would make sure that it is within 4 words of each other so that I'm kind of getting rid of big long paragraphs. And then I would go here to Adonis, and I'm not seeing anything with a rash at all. And so maybe you can now look the other way and you can say maybe eruption instead of rash. And I'm kind of thinking out loud. I don't know if there's a rubric that has all 3 of those together. You'd probably look for skin eruptions during fever and then mind delirium during fever. And you would have to put 2 rubrics together. I don't think there would be a rubric with mind delirium accompanied by rash skin during fever. I don't think that there's a rubric that long. But as you can see here, you have skin eruptions, boils, you have skin eruptions, pustules, urticaria. Those are like little bumps. And so here you can see all of the rubrics with eruptions and fever. If you were to do rash, I'm curious if anything would come up. So only 5 rubrics came up with a rash because really the word is eruption when you have any sort of skin issues. Okay. Okay, so that is how you can search for different words. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so Henriette is asking, can you search for different remedies and different miasms? Yes, so you can do that. So if you go over to here, it's actually not really in the advanced search, Henriette, and see if I'm answering your question. But if you go over here, and you go to the maps, select a map, and you go down to Songkran schema, and then you click on miasms. These are all of the miasms if you practice. I know some of you are probably classical and only adhere to the 3 miasms that Hahnemann had, but if you adhere to this practice and you have all of these different miasms, you can go ahead and be like, I just want to see the acute miasm because this is a very acute presentation. And now it's only going to give you the acute remedies. No, the Songkran map is available because I just went to it. If you just go to maps, select a map, and then Songkran right here, Songkran schema, miasms, and then click acute. Another way you can do this is you can, I'm just going to delete this. If you go to families up here, and then you just look for the acute miasm, either according to Songkran or Stottler, and you can just double click. Sorry. You can right click and then say limit the analysis to this family. Then it will only show you those in the acute miasm, which belladonna comes up. So you'd probably give belladonna. So that way you can do it just like in your clipboard. Oh, I understand, Anna, for new purchases. Yeah. I have like everything in RadarOpus. So, and then if you, I don't think you would ever do this. I mean, I never did this when I was practicing, but if you wanted to look up the word fever just in the acute miasm, like just showing. So basically what I'm doing is I'm looking up the word fever with any remedies that are in the acute miasm according to Sankaran. That's what I'm doing right now in my repertories and my references. It's going to take it a few seconds because it's a weird search, but I have a 700 hits, 718. So these are all of the rubrics that have at least one remedy in the acute miasm. And you would not know what that remedy is if you looked at this. If you hover over like the word 7, then it will show you all of the remedies. You know, if you hover over 11, it will show you all of those. If you want to go into that rubric, you can just double click and it will bring you right into that line of that book, which is nice. And then from there, if you wanted, you can drag it in. You can always flip back to your advanced search from this tab. And then let's say you wanted to go down again to Morrison. And then you're reading and you're saying, gosh, hallucination of most vivid nature. Yes, I want to read more about that. You can always double click this line and it will open the book right to where you double clicked. There you go. Hallucination of a most vivid nature. Okay. And then you can always jump back to your advanced search by going to the tab up here. Okay. So that's a way that you can search miasms from your clipboard or in the advanced search. Okay. So now I am trying to figure out what to give this patient. I have arsenicum, I have belladonna, I have bryonia, and I have nexvomica. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those in one by one. I'm going to do arsenicum. I'm going to do belladonna. I'm going to do bryonia. Now keep in mind, guys, when you type this all, you have to pick the right bryonia. Bryonia alba. Another thing you can do is if you know the shorthand, words. So like BRY period is bryonia alba. Then you can just write it like that too. or you can just spell it out and then just click. And then next on the cat. Okay. Because you're like, I don't know which one I want to give. So what if your patient has fever here? And then what you would do, you would click on remedies. So you can either choose, do you want to look at rubrics that have all of these remedies in one, or at least one of these remedies, or symptoms for each remedy individually? So it will do like one screen for arsenicum and fever, one screen for belladonna and fever, or symptoms for which they have in common and exclusive. So maybe we'll just do symptoms for which they have in common and exclusive. And I'm looking at fever. And I'm going to do all documents. And I'm going to give it, like, that was really fast. I'm actually really amazed because usually it takes a little longer than that. Okay, so there's a lot going on and it is still loading. So we'll just give it a few seconds because I made it do a really, really big search. So this one, you're going to either be able to see how they're common and how they're different and what remedies have overlaps with other remedies. Okay. I have to say, oh, and maybe I crashed my RadarOpus. Okay. I was just gonna say, I wouldn't do more than 2 remedies, and I was curious what would happen if I did 4 and I crashed it because it was a really big task. And so let's just compare arsenicum and belladonna. So if you guys can whittle it down to 2 remedies, then you can do a really good job comparing and contrasting between the 2 remedies in the search I just did. So give me a second, since I was too eager and I crashed my RadarOpus program. And we are going to do a differential on arsenicum and belladonna. Oh, and I totally have a question here. Okay, do you search all documents? Is there a way to select a few resources? Yes, of course there is, and I will show you how to do that. And I'm so sorry I didn't see your answer. So let me show you how to do that after I bring my RadarOpus again. Okay. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so um, look at this. Radar is so cool. It saved my clipboard so that we didn't lose all of our symptoms. Thank you. I'm going to go back to advanced search. If you're searching in here and you're getting tired of looking at all of the documents when you're searching, what you can do is you can just open a couple here. So like if I go to, like I said, I love Boger. He's a great reference. I'm going to open Synoptic Key of the Materia Medica. I also love Morrison, Desktop Guide. I love Misha Norland, Get Well Soon. I think it's a great beginner first aid book. I also really love Herring, Guiding Symptoms. Okay, so look at me. I have all of my favorite things open now. If I go to fever, and instead of saying select all documents, I can just say all open documents. So I just have Schroyens, Boger, Herring, Morrison, and Norland open. And that's a way that you can just look at your favorite things, your favorite books that you have open. You can also, I don't know how to select favorite books in here, but I know that there's a very easy way too. But you can just say all favorites if you have favorite books that you select. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so That's a way that you can kind of cut down on all of the fluff if you don't like other bugs. Although I have to tell you, I mean, I I really should spend more time in here. Homeopathy is just so much, isn't it? It feels a little overwhelming. But I have to say, like all of these references, there's such gems in here I don't even know about. Like I've probably only opened like 100 references and I have 1,600 sitting here. And so I always feel like I don't want to miss anything. And so I almost never just do a few unless I just want to hone in on like a specific repertory or reference. And I almost always do all documents because a few times I've been so amazed at some of the references that come up or like a proving that comes up that I had no idea even existed. So just keep that in mind when you're doing a deep dive. You know, maybe you're doing a simillimum or a constitutional remedy. Just do all documents. You'll get a lot from it. And maybe you'll find some new references that you fall in love with. Okay, so let's go back to comparing. Um, okay, we're not going to crash RadarOpus again. Okay, I'm going to look at Arsenicum and Belladonna. I'm going to click here. I want to see what they have in common and what they don't have in common. And I'm going to look up all documents. Alice, that's a great question. Do cases and can ask for help? I think that that would be incredible. Whoever your rep is, you should email them. If there's enough of you, then maybe we can do it. I don't think it will be me though, because my life is so incredibly busy. But maybe another teacher can have those sessions. Okay, so if you click here on Adonis, 3 tabs come up within the tab of Radar Opus. So within the tab, we're in the search function, but then within the search function, we have 3 different tabs that come up. Okay, so if you click on fever and then you click on Adonis, this is arsenicum and belladonna in the same rubric. So you can see all of the overlap between those remedies. They both have vertigo, they both have dryness of the mouth. You can see the different grades. So arsenicum is really big for difficult respiration during fever, whereas belladonna is only a grade 1. So you can see all of those, how they are in common. Now, if you click on the second tab and you click on Adonis, this is all of the rubrics that arsenicum is in that belladonna is not in for fever. So this is really cool because you can go through this list and see, you can even ask your patient when they're in front of you or on the phone with you, hey, do you have any hay fever? Do you, or sorry, not hay fever. Hey, do you have any mouth pain during fever? Do you have any stomach pain during fever? Because these are all of the things. So what I kind of do is I kind of look at the bulbs. So like where arsenicum is either a grade 3 or 4, and I'll kind of go down and look and kind of ask them, like, look at all of these. Chill absent after midnight. So like look at the chill is absent after midnight for arsenicum. Like it keeps coming up over and over and over. Um, also, yeah, I mean, you can just look at all of these. And then you can look at only rubrics that belladonna is in. So again, I'm going to click this little screen. I'm going to click Adonis or whatever repertory that I want. And then I'm only seeing rubrics that belladonna is in that arsenicum is not in. That has to do with fever. So look at, there's a lot of delirium in belladonna. there is a lot of frequency to urinate in belladonna. There's a lot of coldness of the extremities in belladonna. So, I mean, you can just kind of look and be like, hey, like, do you have any coldness? And if they're like, oh my goodness, yes, like my fingers feel so cold and my toes feel so cold, but I feel so hot everywhere else. Well, maybe that's pointing you in, belladonna instead of arsenicum. So this is where you can really do a different differentiation of the two remedies. If you're on the fence and you're like, I don't know which way to go, you can go put in your remedies, click this, symptoms for which they have in common and exclusive, and then go to the last two. So arsenicum without belladonna and belladonna without arsenicum. And this is how you can really see the differences in the two remedies. Or you can see how they're similar. Okay. Um, so I find this very helpful and I use this feature a lot in RadarOpus. I feel like this is a really important feature. So do you guys have any questions about this? Again, I would not do more than two remedies because it's just going to be too crazy. As you can tell, I did four and I crashed RadarOpus because only with two you'd get three different tabs. I mean, with three it would just be in, I know, try three. Man, friend, I'm scared to try three because I don't want to crash RadarOpus again. I'll let you try three. Um, okay, but that's how you can look at the differences. If you go down to Materia Medica, you can also search for just how they're similar. So you can only see how they're different. So these are all, so Clark is great. These are all of the Materia Medicas that have to do with Arsenicum album and not belladonna. Okay, so this is super, super helpful, especially in acute cases or if you're comparing and contrasting remedies with another. Okay. Another thing you can do now, if you're leaning towards belladonna, but you're just still not sure, you're like, gosh, I just don't know if it's belladonna. And maybe you just want to see keynotes of belladonna with the word fever. Like you just want to see the grade 3s and 4s of belladonna. And you just want to make sure that it's coming up. And you only want it in rubrics of less than 10 remedies. Like you just want keynotes of belladonna. I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to get rid of arsenicum by clicking this little X. I'm going to click the little blue circle next to belladonna. Okay. And then here is where I can specify the degrees. I just want 3s and 4s, so I'm going to get rid of 1s and 2s. I just want 3s and 4s. And then I only want rubrics of less than, let's say, 15 remedies. I don't want big rubrics. Okay, so now I'm just looking at belladonna with the word fever, only grades 3s and 4s in rubrics of 15 remedies or less. So I'm just going to search that. And this is probably the final thing. So I'm leaning towards belladonna. I'm thinking that's what I want to give. I'm going to just ask my patient just a few little questions here. Okay. Burning heat alternating with chilliness. Look at belladonna is the only one. And it's a grade 3. Burning heat. Within and without body turning hot. Belladonna is the only one. And so here you can just kind of see like the keynotes, keynotes of just belladonna with the word fever. This is really interesting. Succession of stages, chill followed by perspiration, followed by heat. If there's so Dr. Matt Zorn was my teacher in school, and I think he did one of the radar trainings today. He's awesome. And succession of stages with fever, those specific rubrics, the succession of stages like perspiration, chill, heat, are just so important. And he had a lot of success treating fevers using those stages. So that's cool to know. Belladonna is the only remedy. Something else Dr. Zorn would do for us during class, and I thought it was really cool, was sometimes he just wanted, like, just, let's say belladonna. If he was like really trying to study a remedy himself, and he just wanted only belladonna in the remedy and nothing else. So another thing, guys, if you're tired of going up here and clicking 2 times, you can just hit enter and enter one more time, and then it will just search for you. That saves you a couple mouse clicks. Okay, so this is how you can just see and like zoom in with a magnifying glass on belladonna. You don't want any other remedies, you just want belladonna. And I hope I did not crash radar. I don't think I did. I just gave it a hard task. I find when I use the advanced search that sometimes I make RadarOpus work a lot because it's going through all of the reps and remedies and all of the books. And I have a lot of books. So I have the full package. And so it usually I have to be patient with radar. So I'm going to go down to Adonis. So that's amazing. There's 12. Oh, and I did it wrong. What did I do? I just want, look at that. Somehow that got away from me, the word exactly. Let's search it again. Well, you know what? I have to say, someone just asked to minimize crashes. It's not that, I mean, RadarOpus does not really crash on me. I just put in an impossible search. I did not click on the first tab. Okay, let me see what I'm doing. Maybe I'm having mom brain right now. I apologize. Um, oh, it's happening because of the screen sharing. Thank you, Nakash. Okay. See, I am having mom brain, of course, because I'm zooming you guys all over the world, and my poor RadarOpus program is working so hard, but it's doing awesome. And I'm still not doing it. Oh, because I didn't do that. That's why. Oh my goodness, you guys. So you have to click this little blue button here. So um you have to specify. Sometimes radar is just a little picky. Yes, thank you, Karina. I'm sorry. So if I wanted this to apply, I have to click this little check mark there. I'm sorry. I missed that. Let's do it again. Third time is the charm. Okay. Okay. Yay. Okay, this makes more sense to me. So there's 723 rubrics in Synthesis Adonis that just has the remedy belladonna. So I'm putting not a microphone, a magnifying glass on belladonna, and I'm just searching belladonna. So that's so cool. Delirium with grinding teeth. So these are keynotes of belladonna that no other remedy has, or remedies just aren't coming up with this. Um, there's probably a lot of weird delusions because they have a lot of delirium and delusions. Fear of imaginary animals. That's really interesting. And I always love just going into this and seeing who put this in. I'm kind of a nerd in this way. I'm going to click on that and then I'm going to click this little patient, this little man icon, and Kent put that in there. If you don't know who that is, you can see by scrolling over. And Kent was a really great homeopath. I'm going to go back to my search. So fear of imaginary animals, that's a weird one. Um, so speech, delirious in sleep. Interesting. Jerking, walking quick on walking quickly or ascending stairs. So walking quickly or ascending stairs. That's interesting. Afternoon 16 hours, which means 4. Red face with vomiting and diarrhea. Red face with vomiting and diarrhea. Violent vomiting and diarrhea. So that's really interesting. So, I mean, this is really cool. You can really get to see a remedy. You can try a super unusual remedy if you wanted. I don't know. What's a really unusual remedy? Let me look at my, um, I mean, so you can really, if you're like searching a remedy, like you're trying to study a cool remedy, let's just look at my kit here, you guys. Okay, let's look at the remedy. Ooh, Thea sinensis. I honestly don't know anything about Thea sinensis. Okay, let's look at this. I honestly don't even know what that is. Let's do all documents. Really, Manfred, we're having the same. That's so cool. I just looked like randomly at my homeopathy kit. That is really cool. Okay, I don't even know what this remedy is. So I can go down here and look. I can, vermeulen is great source and substance. It tells you what it is. Oh, so look at it's a plant. It's an evergreen shrub or tree. So that's what the remedy is. And you can get to know it really well. So let's look at Materia Medica. So the use of this tea. So Murphy's great. And then homeopathic, and then clinical. So it's for delirium, just like belladonna. That's really interesting. These are all of the symptoms of it. And so you can kind of jump around and just learn all about this remedy. You can see all of the materia medicas that have this remedy, all of the keynotes, all of the therapeutics, all of the provings of this remedy. You could spend a whole week on this remedy, just going through this. All of the journals, look at from 1887. That's amazing. Um, Andre Sane, I guess, had a psychiatric patient that needed Thea. So here, I knew nothing about this remedy, and now I have a really good snapshot. It's a plant, and these are all of the rubrics that Thea is in. If you wanted to look, let's say, gosh, I just want to look at Thea, but I only want to know what Thea has in relationship to, let's say, the skin. Okay. I like putting the word skin in here rather than putting the word skin in the skin chapter because I might miss a few. So let's look. Okay, so Thea has almost nothing with the skin. Dryness. Let's see what Murphy says. Okay, so there's just dryness in Thea. It's just skin dry. Um, doesn't look like there's much with the skin. Let's look at the mind chapter. Now let's say I'm gonna break. Well, I want to show you guys something. Let's just look at the mind chapter. And let's go to Synthesis Adonis. And I just want to show you guys something because there's a lot with the mind. And this time I didn't miss any. So if I were to put mind in the chapter here, I wouldn't have missed any. I'll show you what I mean. Oh, look at that's really interesting. So look at this. Nervous system. So Boriki has a whole chapter called the nervous system. That's not the mind, but they're super closely related. So if I were to put the word mind here, and you want to click the one that's all capitalized if you're going to use this chapter, and I only searched for the mind, I would have missed all of Boriki's nervous system chapter because I didn't even think about the nervous system. I'm just thinking, oh, mind, you know, but I would have missed all of those rubrics that could potentially have helped me. So I always like to put the word in here. I almost never use this tab, but you can if you want. Okay. I almost never use the families tab either. What I usually do is I always look up like 3 or less words here to try to find a rubric or 2 remedies or a single remedy. Yeah. Yeah, that's some cool stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, there's no homeopathy is so incredible. There's no mistake. So I probably need to learn more about Thea. So I'm gonna spend some time. Maybe one of my family members is gonna need Thea soon. That's why it came up. And me and Manfred were on the same signal there. Okay, so let me try to think if there are any other kind of juicy tidbits that I can show you guys within advanced search. I like advanced search. I don't like search because there's just one little puny box. I like advanced search because I can go ahead and specify the words and the remedies and in what document and do I want grade 1s or 2s or 3s or 4s or I mean you can just do endless amounts of searching with the advanced search. So I almost never come up here and use like Theo, or mind. I mean I just never use this little box because I don't find it that specific like advanced searches. Yeah, Camellia sinensis. That is so cool. Yeah, that's green tea, right, you guys? Yeah, that's so cool. Um, so I always use the advanced search. I find it so helpful. Even though I practiced homeopathy, I mean, I've studied it for, I don't know, 8 years now, 7 years. I don't know how long it's been. My mind can't think. Yeah, 8 years. Um, I just did not, I mean, the number of rubrics is overwhelming, and I would find myself kind of second guessing myself or really having a hard time going through the repertories like that. I mean, I would just sit here for so long and try to figure out, like, oh my goodness, what chapter can this be in? You know, I mean, and by using the advanced search, I was able to pinpoint rubrics that I wanted that were large enough. You can even get rid of small rubrics of, let's say, less than 5 remedies if you don't want to search those. And that way I was able to learn how to repertorize better. So I learned, like our earlier case, that rash is actually under skin eruptions. So I've, learned that from doing all of these. Okay. Would searching multiple symptoms be helpful or better to stick to one symptom? Okay. Would searching multiple symptoms be helpful? No, you want to stick to one symptom because your your rubric is usually just going to be with one symptom only, right? So if your patient has a skin rash and they have a delirious fever and they're having thirstlessness and they're having diarrhea, yes, all of those things are related, and probably one remedy will cover all of that, but you don't search for one rubric that has all of those. You just want to go symptom by symptom by symptom by symptom. So take it one at a time. What's happening in the mind? What's happening in the bowels? Diarrhea. What's happening with perspiration? Um, Now, sometimes you do have rubrics that will say mind, delirium, accompanied by diarrhea rash, diarrhea in the stool. I mean, sometimes they will be interlapped and overlap like that, but usually you just want to go one symptom at a time. And then you repertorize each symptom, and then collectively you see what remedy fits all of those symptoms in relationship to fever. Okay, I can just show you guys what I mean with the word accompanied by. But in homeopathy, you want to take it single symptom by symptom by symptom when you're repertorizing. And then it's kind of like you're looking for that puzzle, right? And you have a puzzle piece here and there and there and there and there. Those are all of your single symptoms. And when you put them all together and you step back, then you see the remedy picture that you've made from all of your puzzle pieces. You don't look for the puzzle piece first. There's no way you can do that. You have to take it symptom by symptom, each puzzle piece. And I'll show you what I mean here. So here you can see sometimes they'll have like vertigo accompanied by diarrhea. Okay, so they're linking vertigo with diarrhea. And you would get that though if you just search the word diarrhea, you would find this. So if your patient has diarrhea, just search the word diarrhea, go down the whole list, and apply all of the rubrics that are meeting your patient. Okay, so they sometimes will say that, especially in the stomach chapter, there's a lot accompanied by, like stomach pain accompanied by diarrhea or constipation or blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. Um, I don't think that I have that much more to share with you guys. Um, that's how I use the advanced search, and I used it all the time. And I think it's just the most helpful thing that is not really utilized in Radar. So do you guys have any questions? Mhm. Okay. Is there an easy way to see if it's approving or clinical? Yeah, so I will just show you. Yeah, Manfred, I would love to do that. Okay, I'm just gonna write your thing down here. I'm old school. I like to write with a pen and paper. Okay. Okay. Proving or clinical? Let's just look. So let's look and see. Maybe we have um now it would just be under provings is what it would be. Do you see this tab called provings over here? That's how I would know it was approving, or a therapeutic would be clinical. So, so in your books, you have all of your reps, you have your materia medicas, you have your therapeutics, which is all of your clinical work, and then you have all of your provings. So if you wanted to look at the remedy belladonna with fever, and you just wanted to look at clinical improvings, what you would do, you would go over here, and instead of looking at your reps, you scroll down and then you'd go to all of your therapeutics. So this is like in the clinic. What Farouk Master has seen disease of the skin in. So belladonna, he's seen with solar dermatitis. He's seen that in the clinic. And then provings, Hahnemann, that's really cool. This is all of the provings that Hahnemann had with belladonna that has to do with fever. So you would just specify either therapeutics tab or the provings tab is what you would do. Okay, Vicky, is there a way to make the analysis chart highly colorful? Um, like if I do chart here, I don't know what you're what you're asking about. Hmm, let's look. The analysis chart, I don't know what chart you're in, Vicky. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure it out here. The clipboards, you mean on this screen here? Okay. And what do you mean by colorful? Yeah, color coded? Like each of the different I am not sure. I'm sorry, Vicky. Um, like make these different colors, each one of these different colors. Hmm. I am not sure how to do that. I don't know. There's a lot in here. Okay. I'm sorry, Vicky. Change the grade colors. There's probably I am not sure how to do that. I don't know. Okay. Oh, that sounds right. I saw another person's clipboards on a Mac. The threes were a bright red. Oh, the threes were bright red. Okay, well, there's probably a really easy way to do that, Vicky. I've just never done it. And I wonder if it's under like I don't know, view? Um I don't know how to do that. Options, maybe? I don't know, maybe Nakash knows how to do that. Because I think I've seen that too. I think there's a way you can change your colors. Like when I downloaded RadarOpus, I could choose like which one I wanted out of the four. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how to do that. So Amanda's asking, when typing in a remedy in advanced search, how do you get the possible list to choose from? Mine keeps selecting a remedy, but not the one I am after. Okay, I'm searching a remedy. How do you get the possible list to choose from? So, so like I'm typing in belladonna. Oh, I understand, Amanda. So when you're typing in, let's say arsenicum, because there's a million different types of arsenicums. So you want to just do it a little slowly here. I'll show you. So type in arsenicum and I don't do anything. It just pops up. And then I can choose all of the arsenicums I want. And so if I select, let's say arsenicum iodatum, then all I have to do is click it and then press enter, and then it should just populate that one. So try that and see if it's working. I mean, for me, it's pretty easy. All I do is just start typing and then it auto populates all of them for me. Okay. Okay. Aha. Yes, Amanda, you probably typed too quick. Yes, you have to slow it down. You are too eager of a homeopath, which is a very good quality to have. Okay. Okay, and then can I do a basic recap of the icons and search process, like 1 through 5-ish steps? Okay, Sandy. So I will do a basic recap. I honestly don't know all of these icons. So change the search language, add a new search tab. Oh, so I guess you can do multiple searches. So in this search, you can look up fever if you wanted. And in this search, you can look up constipation if you wanted, whatever you wanted to do. So you can have multiple search tabs open. That is where you can save your search, recall a search, make a bar graph, which I never ever do. Um, I don't use those two icons. But basic recap. I have a patient that has a fever, or maybe I'll do something different. Maybe she has intense abdominal cramping. And so I would like to see cramps, and I would like to see of the abdomen. Okay, so I put in my words. I want them in the same sentence, and I want to search all documents. And I just want to see what rubrics come up with cramps and abdomen. I click over to my repertories. I did a pretty bad search because there's only 4 rubrics. Because I put too much of a magnifying glass and I put abdominal. And look there's only 4 measly rubrics. So that was not a good search. So maybe I look up the word cramp and abdomen, or maybe I just look up the word cramp. Because if I look up abdomen, I'm going to get rid of all of the stomach ones. So let's just look up the word abdomen. And here, as you can see, I'm in Adonis, and I shouldn't do that to you guys. I'll do all documents so that you can see the steps I'm taking. And let's say your patient's just saying, cramp, I'm cramping so bad, cramp, cramp, cramp. You know, you can try to be more specific in your search, like I was, but you can see I did a failed attempt, or you can be broad in your search and just do the word cramp. And then there's 2,000 rubrics, and you can just go down to stomach and see all of your rubrics here, and abdomen and see all of your rubrics here and drag them into your clipboard. So you can search words, you can search a specific remedy, you can compare and contrast remedies. So cramping, so Mag Phos has a lot of cramping, magnesium phosphorica. So does cuprum. And let's say you would like to look at how these are different. Cuprum metallicum. And how they're similar. So if I click on remedies, which they have in common and exclusive, and I go to all documents, then I can compare and contrast if I'm in between and I don't know what I want to give. So I can go to Mag Phos, I can look at Adonis, and I can say, oh my goodness, look at all of these remedies that Mag Phos has that Cuprum does not have. Or I can say, oh my goodness, look at all of these rubrics that Cuprum has that Mag Phos does not have. Okay, so hopefully that's kind of like a basic overview. Words, remedies, compare, contrast, find rubrics, study a remedy. If you're like, oh my goodness, I want to learn more about Cuprum, you can just look at Cuprum here and search all of your documents. And then so everything you click on in here is all Cuprum. It's open to the page of Cuprum waiting for you, which is really, really nice and helpful when you're trying to study a remedy. Okay, so you can go to any of your materia medicas, and they are all on Cuprum. So you can study all week on Cuprum. If you want to go into that chapter and open that book right at that sentence, you can double click and it will take you right into that book. So it's really nice because the other way is going to references and opening it and then searching for Cuprum and then doing that again for each book. And it's just takes so much of your time. You should just do it this way. Okay. Um, okay. How can I find if for X I want to find what miasm pulsatilla is? Okay, so um that is a really good question. And how can you do that? I think if you just type in pulsatilla, gosh, there's a really easy way to do that. Let me remember how to do that. If you double click on pulsatilla and you go to families, and then you go to miasm families, is it here? How do you do this? You guys are asking such good questions. Pulsatilla pratensis. Hmm. Okay, so miasm family. So Sakharon is saying it's psychotic. Okay, so I understand how you do it. I'm sorry, it took me a little bit, Henriette. So what you do is you go to the remedy. So like whatever you want to look at, like where is Baptisia? So you double click on Baptisia, and then you go to families, and then you just click this little icon next to Sankaran, the little carrot, and then he tells you it's in typhoid. Or according to Chaudhuri, it's in syphilis and tubercular. Or Sankaran says it's typhoid. Okay, so that's how you figure it out. Okay. Thank you, Joan. Ariana. Okay, cool. There's a whole video on that in the cache, hopefully. Okay, perfect. Yeah, because Anna recorded like 8 videos. I think they're also on YouTube, Ariana. Um, Not Ariana, Irina. And so that's where you can look at Anna Vivarki. Okay. Okay, perfect. I got all of them. Okay. Oh, and I love Anna Vivarki. She's so great. So, yeah, she's great. Her family tool is really great. You should join our live classes. We do a live class with her every month. And so Nakash can tell you more details, but we take a live case with her. They started in March, yeah, but we do it once a month for 12 months. And we're ending in September, and then we usually take like a couple month break and then we do it again, like 12 cases in a row. So they're really fun. They're like my favorite things to do. Hmm. Cash layout. We're talking about Anna Vervarki. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Do you guys have any more questions? Because I want to make sure I answer all of your questions before I go. So Vicky, Anna's training. Anna Vervarki is this incredible homeopath in Belgium, and I came across her through RadarOpus and Timothy Miller, and I just fell in love with her style. She's awesome. Yeah, Nakash just put it there. Here's the link. And I've been doing these. So check it out. Anna's method is more for more experienced practitioners, not beginners. Um, but you can just join for like 1 month and just see how you like it. But she's awesome. She's so awesome. I've sent literally my whole family to her so that I can know their simillimum from her. Yes, there is a fee. It's a paid class. Or you can get a discount if you just buy the bulk, like live cases for the whole year. But I did not mean to like try to sell you Anna's course. It's just that somebody mentioned her name and I'm doing that. I'm sure the recording will be available soon. I also have done another recording for advanced search that is on RadarOpus Academy as well. There's another one that I did a few years ago. Okay. Okay, I think we are all good, unless there's any more questions. It was really cool to do one of these again. It's been a long time for me. I miss teaching. It was really fun. Thank you guys. I hope it's really helpful. I hope you guys go out and change the world with homeopathy. We need more homeopaths. So you guys are awesome. Like whenever I meet a fellow homeopath, it's like, oh, you are awesome. You're doing such a great job for the world. Thank you so much. Spread homeopathy everywhere. It's the most incredible medicine that exists, in my opinion. I am biased, but you guys are awesome. So I hope this helps. Okay, thank you guys so much. I'm gonna log off then and get back to being a mama. Okay, let me stop sharing my screen.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, thank you. Bye. Love to all of you. Thank you.
Bye.